All right.
All
What's
right,
up,
we're live.
YouTube? And you're going to give me a countdown.
Yep. Ready? 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? We're back. We're late going on air today for some reason.
Be aware.
Be
Be aware I'm giving you a verbal pull-up for irresponsible meeting.
Post it. It's turnabout stuff. So I'm Tom Robinson, grateful recovering addict. And like I always say, we are not affiliated with any 12-step program, which just means that they're not responsible for us or anything that's said here. And we do love them, and we endorse them, and have benefited from them and all that stuff.
Yep, this show is basically our opinions and our experience. I'm Chris Mandeville. I'm a man in long-term recovery. We're here at a New Way Recovery Center in Quincy on Quincy Ave.
Great place.
You know, they're very gracious to let us come here and do this. They have been for almost 3 years now.
Yes,
And
they are.
I know, 3 years that this has been going on.
3 years.
You can find our audio podcast at lolterms.com.
Please subscribe.
Like, subscribe, share. Yes, it's on Apple Podcast, Google Play.
Google Play Store, yeah.
I think it's on iHeartRadio. Anything you can think of, any podcast platform, we're pretty sure we're there.
The Life on Life's Terms podcast.
Yes. And I believe we have 108 episodes.
Yes,
Maybe
108 now.
108.
For free, for fun,
Yep.
for fun, and from the heart.
So tonight we have Steve. Tom had known him from when Tom was previously in a treatment center, and you guys bumped into each other here a few weeks ago.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Steve had signed up. We have a sign-up sheet for people that want to come on, and he had signed it, and Tom had a little memory lapse.
Yeah.
No, me
Dude,
too.
Dude, you too, right? You were
Yeah.
like, didn't you say, I think you said like, hey, Tom. And I was like, what's up, man? And then you were like, how do I know you? I'm like, I don't even know you.
He knew his name, but no where he knew him from.
Yeah.
Nice.
That happens. I'm surprised too because I don't remember a lot of people's names either. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
but-
forget faces, but names.
Yes, exactly.
I can't.
Yeah.
I don't forget
Um,
voices, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
really? Yeah.
I'm sound. I'm into,
Yep.
I'm good with sound. So I always pick up someone's voice. And I'm like, I know that voice.
Yeah.
I don't know the face. I
Yeah.
don't know who that is. Yeah.
So we have Steve. He's going to share his experience with us, and
Strength and hope, hopefully.
yeah, we'll probably cut him off and hijack his share, but
Story and then bring it back. Yeah.
because that's how it goes. All right, so take it away.
Thanks for coming in, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. No, it's great. It's great to do this and be here. Like I said, I'm actually I work here at New Way. I'm a recovery coach, and my
Nice.
yeah. I love it. My grant is actually working with the homeless, doing outreach with the homeless.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That's cool. That's great.
Yeah.
There's no lack of them in Quincy. That's for
Oh
sure.
no, it's
Yeah.
it's really been picking up a lot more too lately because of the pandemic and stuff too, which is crazy.
Yep.
There's actually a lot of crystal meth's making it big back. Coming back.
Really?
Yeah.
Crystal is
Yeah,
such an
we
evil
spoke
thing.
about that a little bit last week.
Yeah,
There's
last
really no treatment plan for
Right.
detoxing off of crystal meth.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think it's physically addicting. I think it's psychologically like Coke.
Yeah,
So,
but way worse than
Oh,
Coke,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Oh
Well,
yeah.
because
It's
you
such
can-
a. It's
You
such
could
a-
be in psychosis in like 2 days.
Yeah,
a day.
Absolutely,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've done it a few times.
you have to spend
years
way
ago.
more money to.
Now when you were at
Psychosis and
at
Coke.
Turnabout, did you ever think we didn't? There wasn't even a term recovery coach. You know what I mean?
Right, I know.
That's right.
No, I
That's
would
right.
have never thought. It's crazy because I was just thinking. I say that a lot. I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, I was in and out of obviously everywhere, and in the emergency rooms too. And it was funny because before I took this opportunity in March, which I started actually right during the pandemic, so it's funny. But I started. So I've been like with Bay State for like 15 months. I was working for the heart team,
Yep.
so I actually worked in South Shore Hospital, and it was like 12-hour shifts. And but like I said, it's just funny because there wasn't anybody when I was in there, that was helping to get people into detox and aftercare, and now it's,
Yeah.
Now it's going on. That's great.
yeah, exactly.
So you're gonna qualify here? You're gonna tell us your story or no? You don't have to. We can.
Yeah,
talk about
no, of
whatever.
course, sure. No, exactly, yeah. Yeah, so I guess so. I have I have about 5 years off heroin and 4 years off of abusing medications and alcohol and stuff. So everything, and yeah, my journey started when I was, I don't know, probably 15, 16, and I started to just dabble in stuff like drinking and marijuana and stuff. My family was pretty. My mother and father aren't addicts, but everyone else in my family is, and they're a lot of
Grandparents.
not my grandmothers, but yeah, grandfathers, yes.
Yeah,
it
that's-
skips a generation.
Yeah.
That's what I figured out too. Is
Yeah.
my mom and dad weren't at all.
Right.
Like they would have like a drink every once in a while.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
but then I found out that my grandfather was a daily drinker,
Yeah,
and
you
I
know
had no
what?
clue.
Right.
I'm the same way, but I had every clue in the world. I was.
Go get me another beer, kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And to me it was at that time too, I was also like getting out of high school, like I had like a lot of anxiety issues and ADD and stuff, because I struggled with anxiety and ADD for a long time, and depression also and stuff, just the kind of dual diagnosed, which I think everyone has, also with the addiction sometimes. But so I started dabbling and stuff, and I had a lot of cousins, and like I said, a lot of them passed on, which actually I'll get into later more too, but they passed on, and I was really close with a cousin and stuff. I actually have a younger brother too, who's still who's trying to get back into recovery too, but anyway, yeah, so I think at the end of high school, like I was kind of going to raves. I used to love to go to concerts. I started big into the ecstasy.
Oh,
I was-
really?
Yeah, that was my thing. Was I was doing like a lot of ecstasy and and just dealing and supporting my habit and stuff. And then that quickly turned into heroin and cocaine at like 19, 20. And then actually, a few detoxes right around that time. A couple here and there. And then I picked up a couple cases here and there. And that's when I met you. I was about
Yeah, yeah.
23, I'd say 23, which was what.
15 years ago.
38. Thank you. All right. Yeah. And, but yeah, so I went to, Project Turnabout. That was like, actually, that was one of the, that actually really helped a lot in my journey, actually, the structure. And, plus I was one of those people that were in there that didn't actually have like major charges. Like I wasn't on parole. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, as I remember, all cards did not necessarily read 0 on your scorecard, right? You had some
Right.
things, still had things going for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, the
Yeah.
tough thing sometimes when you're trying to get sober. It's sometimes easier when you get that gift of desperation. You're like, I got
Yeah.
nothing.
Or it's like,
Right.
if I
yeah.
fuck this up, I'm going back. You know,
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
That too.
for the rest of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah,
Or,
I mean-
or you're sitting there and like, fuck, I don't gotta fucking be here. You know
That's
what I
it.
mean?
Right.
Come
Well,
outta
that's,
here.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that a lot then.
Yeah.
difficult. Yeah.
I went
exactly.
there on parole, and people were like, "Pfft, as soon as your parole's up, you're bouncing. I'm like, no, I'm fucking done, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that shit no more.
Right.
And I ended
exactly.
up staying.
No, but that's so true. But yeah, I mean, I did stick it out. Like I said, I think I was on probation then, and and I was actually
Betty Doherty wants to know if you'll get her a pumpkin spice coffee. She's commented.
Oh wow, that's funny. Oh man.
I heard somebody say the other day that pumpkin anything this time of year costs twice as much as normal thing. But then you take a pumpkin and you take out everything they used to make that stuff and you throw it away.
Dude,
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go to the grocery store, everything's pumpkin.
Yeah, everything's pumpkin.
Every,
Yeah, we just had pumpkin
thing.
soup in here a couple days ago.
everything.
Yeah.
Pumpkin Twinkies I seen the other day.
Pumpkin Twinkie.
Yeah, so I mean, no, but again, that was a really great experience. Like, it did teach me a little bit of discipline at the beginning, and yeah, I mean, so I went for, like I said, like about 8 months of the program, and then my case got dismissed actually for that one, and like you said, I wasn't beaten down hard enough for that, I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't like real bad, but
Yep.
yeah, and then it just got worse from there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot worse,
Yeah.
Dig the
Um,
bottom deeper.
Yeah, I mean, You know, like I said, pardon me, you jump around sometimes with the ADD and stuff, but like this, literally, like, you know, basically after that, yeah, it was really bad. I was, every time I got off probation, I basically picked up a case like a month or two later, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for like 10 years, you know, and I was bouncing in and out of treatment programs and detoxes, you know. I was really homeless, like literally homeless. I was staying up at like Father Bill's and just wherever I could sleep. I stayed at my cousin's a lot too, but, and he actually passed away, you know, recently, like about 7-8 years ago.
Due to this disease.
Yeah, from this disease, exactly, yeah.
Sucks.
And we were like, you know, we used to run all together and stuff with heroin and cocaine and stuff, you know, and he had a lot of stuff like that, you know, as far as depression and really hard time too, you know, but yeah, you know, like I said, I don't know, you know, one thing is, you know, I was, like I said, I was a really bad IV heroin user, and plus I was also on medications that I was prescribed that I started basically after turnabout, started to use them a little bit more than, you know, I'm supposed to, I guess. You know,
More than
Yeah.
prescribed.
the Klonopin.
That's
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking par for the course, man. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
You,
yeah.
you get the script, and then the addict math kicks in, and you're
Right.
taking, you know, it's supposed to be 1 every 4 hours. It's 4 every 1 hour. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You know.
When I went to on strength or whatever, you know, when you bring someone to court from turnabout,
Yeah.
and I was on the toilet. He was in the court. He was having his case, and I was wandering in the hall, and I went to the bathroom. I was on the toilet, and I let my hand fall down next to me, and there was a hole in the wall, and my hand brushed against a plastic bag. I pulled that plastic bag out. It was half full of pills. Right? And I'm like, you know, 4 months or whatever, 5-6 months. So no, not even 6. It was less than 6 months. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I was like, I just flushed him. Like, didn't even think about it. Could have been a whole different story if I
Oh,
had
yeah.
taken my time to just pause and think for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, might not be here right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know. I know.
So you're abusing the medications now that.
Yeah,
get
so
prescribed.
you know, I was still like, you know, I was basically using like the Klonopin and Adderall and all that stuff, you know, but still really hot into the heroin, you know, yeah, just doing it all pretty much, you know.
Deadly
I mean,
combination.
yeah,
Klonopin.
benzos and you know, I mean, I would say I was, you know, I did, I mean, you know, I've done it all, you know what I mean? Alcohol, I withdrew from a couple times too, but preferably it was like the heroin and the benzos and stuff like that, you know, and then whatever else I could get my hands on, you know. You know, and like, so through this time, you know, like I overdosed, the last time I think I counted was the last time I overdosed was the 13th time.
Wow.
So yeah.
Mm.
And again, that was because of the benzos and heroin, you know.
Yeah.
I actually stopped right before, I stopped right when the fentanyl was just starting to come out. And I think that's how I actually overdosed the last time was cut with fentanyl,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah, the Klonopins and just heroin will,
Anything with a yeah.
will OD you. That's a
Oh yeah.
deadly
and like
combination.
I remember like so long ago when I was like trying to get off heroin, and I went to the methadone clinic. Like they prescribed you benzos, like they made you go see the psych, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was like protocol.
Yeah.
You know, it was
Right.
either. I mean, it
Right.
may not have been Klonopin, but
Yeah.
you know, it was
Exactly.
either Xanax or Valium
Yeah.
or something.
Yes, yeah.
Who
And-
knows what the thought
yeah,
process
like,
was
but
there.
that's the thing. Like they never really like made the correlation.
I know,
you
it's crazy
Yeah.
too, because you know I think about that also. Like you know I remember like the old Catholic charities I used to go to when I was like 19, 20 in Brockton. You know, they used to get
Yeah.
like, the Easter basket full, like you know what I mean.
The
Like
the
you
one
said,
that was
the
on
lib-
North Main Street.
Yeah, Davon. They used to use Davon to get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
Yeah, I was
exactly.
there.
Yeah.
That was the only that detox, and then they moved over to the VA.
Right. Yeah.
When I went there, it was at the VA. That's where it
So
was.
so
when
I went
Okay,
I went
yeah.
to Catholic Charities once.
Mhm.
I was at the VA when it was Catholic Charities. Then it turned to High Point,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
and then Plymouth House Correction. So it was
Yeah.
like 3 detoxes
Yeah.
that
yeah.
I did for doing heroin for I don't know 7-8 years.
Right. Right.
I went
yeah.
to Catholic Charities detox in Brockton, and Brockton's where I would cop all the time.
Yeah.
So I lasted like one night. I was, I got up the next morning. It's like I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
like I
I just
remember
wasn't ready.
sitting in the day room and it's just like smoke.
Oh,
Everything.
really?
Yeah,
Everybody
oh,
smoking
yeah.
cigarettes?
Oh yeah. It was. It was.
That place is
crazy. Like
gross.
you come out of there.
I can
with-
picture it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. You know, but it's just funny. You know, it's crazy how everything just how everything changes. You know, evolves and stuff. You know,
Mhm.
with the whole just in recovery. You know what I mean? And but so yeah, you know, like I said, through this time I was like homeless. You know, and I mean, one thing I'll say though, you know, and then not to get into like a whole like religious thing because it's not really about that, but you know, I never had a problem with the God thing. Like, you know, I've always been like, I had a grandmother that was really you know, spiritual and religious. She used to do like, you know, the rosary and stuff. And my cousin that I was really close to, was like a brother to me who passed. We were runner partners, and we used to stay up for like days and like read scriptures sometimes. I know it sounds
Really?
crazy, but that's what we used to
Wow,
do, you
that's
know.
wild.
So,
Cool.
but like, you know, I mean, basically, like I said, through all this, you know, and the courts and everything, and you know, for me, you know, I mean, I did a little time, but it was mostly a lot of probation and OCC and, you know, whatever, drug court and stuff. But I never, like, lost my faith. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. I was really hopeless. Like, I wouldn't say I was, like, I wasn't suicidal. Like, I wasn't trying to kill myself. But I was so hopeless, basically, that, you know, I didn't really want to be here either. So it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I identify with that.
Right.
I totally
So-
identify with that. I
Yeah,
was the same way.
and this brought me up till I was like, all right, so like I said, I'm 38 now, so let's say, so basically my early 30s is when I got it together, you know, and I started to really, you know, basically, I just didn't have any purpose, you know. For somehow I ended up keeping the last job I had. You know, they kept firing me a couple times, but then they didn't. But you know, I didn't end up really getting fired. You know, they put up with it, but then they also saw me change too, which is really cool, and I still talk to them and stuff. But you know.
You used to draw the stuff of Building 19.
Oh yeah, I did that actually. yeah. I did that in my early 20s. I did that right before I
flyers?
got it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to draw for Building 19 cartoons too. Yeah.
I remember when
Yeah.
they got hemmed up for putting out an ad that said "wife beaters"
Yeah,
on
yeah.
sale. And it was just
Yeah.
an old man.
That
with
was a
with
fun job, man.
with
I
a
used to,
tank
oh,
top
man,
on.
I would be in and out, nodding, in and out, and at that time it was really bad, and you know, and that was right before I went to Turnabout. That's so funny, like right before.
Now,
you know?
was it the building that was right down the street from Turnabout?
Yeah, that was the main office.
Yeah,
but
that was the main
and also
office.
worked, but the store I worked at was the one that's where, you know, where the McDonald's is now and stuff, you know.
In Weymouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'd go to like Cranston, and there was like 12 sign makers, and I was one of them. And yeah, that was a fun job, you know. And like I said, and like, you know, I used to, man, I was in that bathroom boat every 20 minutes, stealing all the golden spoons. And,
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, I mean, you can laugh about it now, but it was,
Right.
I mean, they didn't know, you know, nodding out the paint, and they just like, you know, what's wrong with you, you know?
Painful, yeah. You feel
Yeah.
like a fool. I
Sleep
remember.
last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I know. You know,
Bullshit that we
waiting
come
for the
up with.
dealer outside, going in and out, you know, but
Ugh.
you know, but anyway, yeah. So like, you know, like I said, I was working a little bit, and I got to this point, you know, basically after I overdosed the 13th time, I think I was in OCC. You know, I was in OCC. I was just graduating, and somehow like I overdosed right before OCC, and I graduated still anyway.
OCC?
You know, through the court systems, the drug court.
It's
OCC.
old Colony Corrections, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Corrections Drug Court?
Yeah, I was there
yeah.
for like 9 or 10 months. You know, you basically get earned every day, and it was actually pretty tough to the courts up the street. You know,
Yeah.
and but like right before it, like I said, I didn't use for a long time. It was like a year or something, and then I used and went right out. But somehow they didn't find out, and I graduated the program still anyway. But anyway, like after that point, I stopped. You know, with the heroin. But then I still had the medications I was abusing like hard now. You know, and I was just basically trying to support that habit.
Oh, yeah. You're just switching seats on the Titanic.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, exactly. And then, you know, so I started abusing those, and but I was still, you know, wanting to stay off the heroin. Like actually, with me, like I got into boxing. You know, it helped me. You know, some people, I think if it's used right, you know, it can definitely help a lot of people.
Absolutely, if it's used
You know?
correctly.
Yeah, right. Just like anything, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
anything can be great if you use it right.
Which
Right.
I think now where they have the Sublocade,
Right.
like just I don't care who they are, man. You hand a drug addict a whole entire prescription of these strips that you can take or sell.
Yeah.
Like your fucking chances are
not-
less than average.
Yeah.
Right,
you
right.
You
gotta-
know,
you
because
gotta-
we're we can't think for ourselves to begin with, which is why we're drug addicts.
Mhm.
You know, and now we're getting handed a whole fucking bunch of drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
you gotta wonder, like, what is it? What's the percentage of how much good it's doing as compared to how much harm it's doing? you know,
Right.
my gut tells me that it's doing more harm than good. Probably.
Yeah,
you
my
know, but-
my junkie brain tells me,
yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but I mean, through that process, like I said, I got off the Suboxone, and basically everything that through all the places I was at and everything, I learned about AA, obviously and definitely, and I just basically was open to take the suggestions, and I surrendered, and I was really, I was just really beaten down, like every time, I thought it was the worst, like it got worse, pretty much, and
Right.
I mean, this last time though, like I'll tell you though, the benzos, like for me, I was on Klonopin for like 20 years, and I was on like a lot, like high milligrams, and that was probably the worst kick I've ever been through. I think I've been through all of them, alcohol, heroin, and benzos, but that was probably the worst. I feel like,
Yeah. You did it at a detox?
No, I had to do a cold turkey.
Wow.
The doctor I had.
Could have died.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The doctor I had,
It's not a good idea.
I just kept getting it from him, and then basically, he just stopped. He just took me right off cold turkey. He's not even supposed to do that, but he did. And
Wow.
but anyway, so I kicked it cold turkey. But I was, so I mean, it was a few months, I was staying in the house, and just for that. But then after a couple months, I started to feel better, and just started pushing myself, and I knew all the stuff I had to do, as far as with taking the suggestions, like I said, and sponsoring the meetings and stuff, and I just started doing that.
You did
and-
the AA thing. You joined a group. You got a sponsor.
Yeah. But like I said, I think my pathway is kind of like, and actually we're all pathways here at New Way, My pathway is like all of them together, really, honestly. Like I said, for me, I feel like it was really God, And actually, I was just going to get to that point is that when I was getting off the benzos and all the medications I was on, and the alcohol and all that stuff, the 4 years ago, it was funny because it was on Thanksgiving when I stopped, and, a clock that I gave my grandmother when I was really young, like when I was like 13 or something, before I even started really using, I have in my room now because, she passed on a while ago when I was like 15. And it was Thanksgiving, and the clock didn't have any batteries in it, and it wasn't plugged in, and it lit up. And my mother was there too. Like, so it wasn't just me seeing things. Like, my mother was there
Wow.
too, and I asked her if you saw it, and she said, yeah. Because it wasn't plugged in, there was no batteries, and like it's never lit up since then, but it was that one night it lit up. My mother saw it too, and
Wow.
yeah, so I just really feel like, that was my time, that I was ready to do this, and I mean, yeah, now, fast forward, 4 or 5 years later, I'm here at New Way, and I'm recovery coaching, and I mean, I love what I do. I mean, it's crazy the amount of people that I'm helping now, and that I have been, and I mean, it obviously helps me too, but
Yeah.
but I just love to do it anyway. I like to try to help people anyway. It's like, the job before this I had was a little bit of kind of like a counselor type role too. But, yeah, but like, again, like I said, I guess it was kind of all pathways for me. Like it's funny, but actually, I mean, just for me, like I said, this is just my experience. But it wasn't until about a year ago that I actually I started really doing the steps. Like legit, you know what I mean? Like I've done it before, but it was like forced, and I didn't, it was kind of half-assed and stuff, This time it was like real legit because, I want to grow as a person. But, so, I was able to do it, like I said, and actually I meet a lot of people that I coach now. It's crazy. Like this stuff, you learn stuff all the time that people do, I mean, I do a lot for myself though, my recovery, I work out, like I said, I like boxing, and I work out like every other day. And, I play in a band. We were talking before earlier about that. I sing and play guitar, and all this past summer we played out a lot of shows, and we're gonna try to get together soon to do that again, or if we can't all get together, I'll probably just go out there myself with a couple of members or something, and
Cool.
yeah, so I stay really active, and
Now, did the rest of the band drink?
yeah, a couple of them do, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. That doesn't really bother me, yeah. I mean, actually, I just enjoy the high, the rush playing,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, music's so therapeutic,
Yeah.
it's helped me a lot, you know what I mean?
Definitely is.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people can't really put their thoughts into words,
Yeah.
but they can hear a song, be
Mhm.
like, oh, like
Yeah.
identify
Right.
with it and
Right,
feel it.
right,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
like I've known quite a few people that actually make music in recovery, and like they'll send me something,
Mhm.
and it's like I know it's good when I listen and I get the chills. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, oh yeah,
Exactly.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
But to get
Pretty
back
cool.
to your recovery coaching, like that must really help out, like, because you've lived these scenarios. You know, you said you're working with homeless people,
Yes. Yeah.
so you can say, listen, I fucking know exactly what you're going through.
Right.
I do.
No, exactly.
right.
And
it's so hard. People don't realize, you know, and yeah, not to cut you off, but it's true.
Yeah.
People don't realize, you know, that because I mean, I was in like Father Bill's, you know, and stuff, and like some of these shelters, man, like it's really awful in there. It really is, and I mean, it's so hard. It's hard getting sober. Never mind like being homeless with nothing and trying to get sober.
Right,
A lot of people
right.
get defeated by that purpose.
and
know?
you get to these places, and like you're not there long enough to get any actual help. Like
Right.
you go there to sleep, and then you
Yeah,
have to
that's
leave
it.
during the
Exactly,
day,
yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you either I stay here and wait to talk to a counselor, or I gotta go and fucking hustle something.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
it can be
Exactly. Yeah.
very defeating.
It's funny,
Yeah.
you know. It's like, you know, and again, I feel like it's crazy how life works, and like I mean, you know, I believe in the universe too and God, like I said, but you know, the main thing is God, and it's funny because, like I said, you know, when I was saying about when I was feeling kind of hopeless and stuff, basically after I overdosed that last time, and I started to get off the benzos and my medications, that's when I felt like, you know, I started feeling really motivated, and it just like clicked. I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing this, like, you know what I mean, for my life, for work, and you know, not just for me, but for like to help other people, and then like my purpose, just came in. So I mean, I literally went from, you know, and I mean, and I know we don't have a lot of time, like I said, I talk forever about this stuff, but I literally went from like, you know, did like a 360, you know. I mean, even like now, it's like financially, you know, I'm a lot better. You know, I didn't have anything before, obviously, and you know, my mended family stuff, and you know, relationships with people. But yeah, it's just really hard, you know. So like I said, so I know where some of these people are coming from. That whether in the shelter or they're outside, or even just, you know, surf, you know, couch surfing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Dude, I used to live, for a few weeks, I stayed at a holding, which was upstairs at the Kingston House, wet shelter. You want to talk about, and it was the winter time. You want to talk about sad state of affairs, man.
Yeah.
I mean, people fighting, getting up in the middle of the night, getting in fights.
Oh yeah, you can't have anything because it just gets stolen or you lose it. You know. And
Every night, almost every night, the ambulance was there
Yep.
taking someone to the hospital from the, you know.
yeah.
And it's just like they just get wrecked. I mean, they're out there during the day. It's freezing out.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Right. Yeah.
So now,
But well, I was gonna say to end that whole thing is
Yeah,
like I said, it's crazy because, you know, originally I wanted to get a job here, right? And I didn't know like, oh, like if you become a recovery coach, you can go to like this, get a certification, you know, go to classes. So I did that, and then I got the certification, you know, in the midst of me being like, you know, I don't know, 2 years sober or something like that, year and a half, and that's when, you know, I was talking to Warren that was here, and I wanted to work in the center, but at the time there wasn't any openings in the center. But he said, you know, well, we do have the heart team though, so that's when I met Julie, who used to be here, worked here as a you know, before, and then she just left a little while ago. But
Yep.
I started working with the heart team, and then like now I'm actually in the center, like where I wanted to be in the first place. But it just took like before that, and I loved working in the hospitals. Actually, it's like something you either like hate or you love. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I loved working with the doctors and nurses, and I mean most of them gave me respect, and you know what I mean. It was good, and
but
but it wasn't the same because here, like now I do like one-on-one. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
actually seeing people grow, which is awesome. Like in the hospitals, you don't get to see that. You just kind of send them
So
off to
so
traffic.
in the hospital, how educated would you say that the staff was to the situations at hand? Like, would they be doing things that would say be detrimental to the people that you were trying to help? You
Yeah,
know-
I think it was like a split. Yeah.
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 Because I mean, I know some people have no clue about addiction.
Right, right, that's what it
and-
is, yeah.
And if someone's going in there with an overdose,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they may not necessarily be like, well, maybe you have a problem, so let's address that issue first.
Right.
You know, they'd be like, oh, here, you know, like you need this medication,
Yeah.
you need that. And another thing I wanted to ask you was, do you think that all those years on that medication kept you doing what you were doing?
Yes, I do think so now.
And did you bullshit your way onto those medications, or I know you
No.
did say you had ADD and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, well no, I really did have those issues, yeah, and but like I said, I mean, just how I believe too is I think anything if it's used improperly, can it's a great, Adderall's a great medication, and benzos are a great medication too, but it only worked for that couple of years. You know what I
but-
mean? You're not
and
supposed to
also,
stay
who
on something
knows?
like.
Who knows? Because like you're getting mucked up every day,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You don't even.
I mean,
you're not
again,
even your
I don't
normal
think an
self.
addict should be able to be on something like that.
And I think it.
But
honestly,
there are cases though. There's circumstances. Like I do have some clients, that they have and I've had some trauma. I won't get into all that, but
that's that. I mean, that's a
what I mean? So that-
that's
I
a
think it's
theme for this whole
justifiable.
entire thing, addiction. Like it all starts with trauma at some point.
yes, yeah,
At
yeah.
some point,
Most of the
which
time.
which would
Yeah.
which would end up you having some type of disorder, which you need this medication. But you know what I mean. But
Right,
it
right.
it has to start somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Right.
and I think I read somewhere that I think
No, absolutely.
benzos are not a long-term drug.
They're
You're
not, and
not
people-
supposed to be
yeah.
on them long-term.
No, but I mean to answer your question, it's definitely I fully I fully knew what I was doing. I just kept doing it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
yeah.
and like I know people who bullshitted their way onto a medication,
Yeah,
got sober.
yeah,
Being sober is part of being sober is being honest.
yeah.
But then now they don't want to come off that medication.
Right.
But you
Yeah.
lied to get on it.
Yeah.
But now you think you need it because you're sober.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's crazy. Like I said, I was a zombie. I was numb for 20 years, and what I loved about getting off the medication and just being totally sober is feeling those emotions
Right.
and feeling like alive. I mean,
Yeah.
I was literally like a zombie, The Walking Dead for 20. That's one thing. I was in a blur for 20 years. So it's like it's almost
Right.
like I felt reborn. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, it was a
Because
total spiritual.
you have a
experience.
mental clarity now.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you don't have that fog that
Yeah.
like loomed over you.
Right.
all
that
the time.
takes over you.
And
Exactly.
I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not telling people to not take medication.
Yeah.
I'm not. That-
Right,
So
right.
I
please
think-
don't think
But I
that
think
that's
you
what I'm
can-
saying.
You can find out who you are.
Yeah.
Right. For
Yeah.
a while, and maybe then realize that maybe I don't need this. you
Right.
know?
Or
Right.
maybe I can actually deal with what's going on. Because
Yes,
I remember
yeah.
when I was at Turnabout,
Yeah.
they send you out to the
Yeah.
doctors.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
you,
yeah, yeah.
You the first day I found out who the fucking house doctor was, I'm not gonna say his name,
No. let's
but I
not.
was like, what the? No way! I went and saw this guy like 10 years ago to get home detox. Huh? Really? But they send you out to Social Security appointments,
Right. Right.
and like
And I was
the guy
actually
was saying, like, okay, do you feel this? And I was getting, I was sober in jail, and then I get thrown into treatment. My first treatment center ever was Turnabout, and I'm still fucking sober since then.
Yeah.
But he was like, do you get anxiety? And I'm like, thinking about being sitting in the room in a meeting, and I know what's going around. And it's like, yeah, I get anxiety. Okay, so how about we prescribe you this? I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, right.
Is there any other way of doing this thing?
Yeah.
And what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. Like, is there like a breathing exercise? Oh, well, yeah. Okay, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
That's another big thing
What the
too.
fuck do you?
No, exactly.
Like you put it's script pad. That's like
Right,
the only
right.
answer to fucking
Exactly.
anything.
It's yeah. Like I said, for me, I had that spiritual. Like I just loved feeling, like sober. Exactly. And,
Right.
I mean, I think it turned about too at that point. Like I was on meds too. I started like, well, no, I was on it for a few years, but then I stopped just for that factor, and then got
Yeah.
back on them as soon as I got out. And
Yeah,
yes, that
right.
led me back into but
But you start to realize who you are, and you start to like yourself a little bit. You realize that the time
it's less self-sabotage, and
Yeah.
time goes
Yeah.
by with being sober, and you start to look back on those times fondly. You start to think, it wasn't so bad not being all cloudy and messed
Right,
up
right.
all the
And
time.
So I mean, that was a
Okay.
huge dent, like right into the beginning of my
And it's like, okay, I have this feeling, but it's gonna go away.
yeah.
Right.
I don't have to.
Right,
I don't have to
right.
sit with it for. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
here forever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and like for myself, I do other stuff besides, 12-step, and like once I realized and grasped the concept of impermanence, like huge. Like
yeah.
a good feeling isn't gonna last. A
Right.
bad feeling isn't gonna last.
Yeah.
Being broke isn't gonna last. Having money isn't gonna
Right.
last. Like nothing.
Yeah.
How about
In
Exactly.
how about
Ever
you don't
is
have
gonna-
to react to every feeling? you
Right.
get?
Right.
Yeah.
Sit.
It's like, okay, I
And
feel
that's what
this
took
way.
me a long time to learn because, like I said, being on the like that, yeah, again, not having to react, And for me too, like I said, also a big part of my recovery is meditation, and like hugely,
Yes.
I mean, the music gets me in that state too, but just strict meditation, like I like a lot of stuff on YouTube and the frequencies and like.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
kind
I've
of just
done
space
binaural
out.
beats and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I
Good
like
stuff.
addicted to it.
Yeah.
You know what I've been doing this week is Baroque. Is that how you pronounce it? I think so. Baroque music. It's like symphonies.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's supposed to be. I watched a video. So they were claiming it was like the most healing frequencies come from that
They have
Baroque music.
Yeah.
they have
yeah.
sound meditation as well, sound healing.
Yes, I mean I
Where
like
you can
guided
go
ones
and they-
too, but that's I like
Yeah.
I like the frequencies and how I can kind of create my own, and also like even manifestation, like I do a lot of, it's funny too, but I do a lot of affirmations and manifestation, and it's worked, and I'm kind of addicted to all that stuff, I love stuff like kind of YouTube,
But it's
and
good stuff.
I change it up, yeah, but it's all positive, like
Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
Like you're not gonna fucking have to get Narcan from a fucking binaural beat meditation. You know what I mean? So I mean, someone might have to wake you up, but they're not gonna have to shoot Narcan up your nostril.
no,
you know?
absolutely,
But
exactly.
that's and like people told me about it and people introduced me to it like earlier in my recovery, but I didn't like jump on board, and now it's like I got Insight Timer on my phone. It's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
and-
great.
Like I like a lot of the visualization ones, like where you have to picture things and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like think of the light and
Oh,
spread
yeah.
it, and it's
great,
like
yeah.
now it's like wow, some days I can't fucking get into it.
Mhm.
Some days it just I can't.
Yeah, they
Some
say it
days.
takes like 7 minutes to get into that frequency, that vibration.
and just listening to I listen to a lot of David G. I really like him. Like just the way his voice and the way he says things like can keep me anchored really good. But like there's so many different meditations.
Oh yeah,
Like
and I
his-
change them up a lot too.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't stick with one. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't, because then you start being like, this is
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
boring.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, I've played some all night, like
Yeah,
next to
yeah.
my bed, and it's like
yeah, me too. Yeah.
8-hour meditation.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
I've done that.
Yeah,
I like sometimes not even having anything on and meditating.
yeah, that too. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
concentrate on the breath, be
Yeah.
in the moment.
Yeah, I can do it
Exactly,
sometimes,
yeah,
but
yeah.
for me it's a lot easier, and I can
The
I
guide-
can
the guided-
focus
Right,
with
right.
with a guided better.
It's
Yeah.
it's so amazing. Like I said, I mean, just life now, and because again, I was in a blur for 20 years, and it's just like so old now. Like it's, I mean, you couldn't pay me anything to go back.
I
Obviously,
imagine going back to that life now,
Oh,
because
I mean,
I
living like that, like is it homeless and just in and out of, the between, like I went to like the Salvation Army, and all the detoxes and holdings.
Yeah.
I used to just do that for like a couple months to get warm, and go. And I literally did that for like 15 years, and it's tiring, man. It's really
and
the
I
courts and the problems. And
I see
everything,
that
you know?
every single day. I drive by the homeless shelter and the methadone clinic every day, multiple times,
Yeah.
and it's like, I look at these people and it's like, fucking, you don't have to live this way. And there's some people that I work with that are like, oh, look at these fucking losers, and it's like, dude, you have no idea why that person is there. Not everybody in there is a drug addict and an alcoholic.
Yeah.
That's true.
Some people just got fucked,
Right.
and now
right.
they lost everything.
Or they're
Right, right.
mentally ill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
some people like lost their job, lost their wife, lost
Right.
their car, lost their house. Now they're just fucked.
Yeah.
Right,
know?
but that's
And-
that's usually a temporary thing. You usually bounce back. You know what I mean?
But sometimes that causes serious damage. That's
Yeah.
trauma.
trauma,
You know what I
and
mean?
then
And
what you do next is it.
Yeah.
It is. It's like a vicious cycle. Like once you're in, like I said, in that too, and you almost like again, it's hard to get out because you just like you can either feed off your depression or you can feed off
Yeah.
trying to stay. And like you said, I mean, stuff happens, and like with life and like but yeah, it's
Depression
it's tough.
can be
and
very
then
powerful.
and then I've also
yeah.
seen young kids in there wearing like $200 sneakers and fucking they're just
Yeah.
like, I ain't gonna do no. I'm just gonna go here and sleep at night. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
While they're out
Yeah.
hustling all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just.
Yeah.
It's
I,
sad.
I've
Yeah, you
been
know,
there
it
too.
is.
Like
It's-
I ran around homeless,
and it's-
stolen cars. Like
Right. Yeah, yeah.
abandoned houses. Like that's how it got for me. You know. What
Oh
I mean?
yeah, exactly. And like I said, when I'm out there, so I do like, so 20 of my hours is like doing outside outreach, and the other 20 hours I'm here at the recovery center. And then I'm doing kind of like actually a bunch of different stuff. But like I said, my grant is for the homeless outreach. But like, it's hard because you want to say the right things to them and try to help them. Kind of even if they're kind of on the fence. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of sometimes talk to them, and then they like, hey, maybe I'll give myself a shot.
Yeah.
But it's really tough sometimes. And again, like I said, because I've been there, and I mean now it's getting colder, obviously. You know what I mean? So like people are gonna want to get warm somewhere too. But I think like, and it's interesting because this job that I have now, this role, it's brand new. It's like there hasn't been anybody in Bay State for homeless outreach, so this is like a new position. So I'm kind of just going about it.
So you're kind of creating it.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, I go out with Man It Health, which does like the needle exchange, and so actually part of my is harm reduction is because it's what I kind of do for my.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
it's
again,
under
I
that grant.
support complete sobriety. You know what I mean? But like there is it gets harm reduction too. But yeah, so I go with Man It and stuff. But
Harm reduction is like Suboxone, methadone.
yeah, and the needle exchange.
Needle
yeah.
exchange.
Safe shooting
Safe
sites.
shooting sites.
Right.
Because I mean, ultimately, you have to be breathing to recover.
Yeah, and I mean, thank God they have like Narcan now, and they
Yeah.
have clean needles, get diseases, and like, and then there are positives with all this too, and like, so I don't feel indifferent like either way, you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's great. It's a new experience for me, like you said, kind of creating the role, trying to feel like I'm, just creating the role, and and I do love it. It's funny, like I didn't, know how I was gonna, but what I was trying to get to was like when I'm out there and I'm talking to them. So sometimes there's new people I see, just out of nowhere. But then there's sometimes, the same people I see, you know.
Yeah.
And it's hard because, like I said, I kind of try to talk to them. And as I see them a bunch of times, I can get to know them more. And then I can start to really talk.
Yeah,
you
you build a
So I'm
relationship
just-
with
I'm
them.
figuring it out all out. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I got another couple years in the
Absolutely.
grant. But, yeah.
But
Well,
I mean,
nobody wants to be talked down to, so you can talk to them because you've been there. and that's a
meeting
big
people
thing.
where they're at is huge.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and being out in the community, so people see you, then they're gonna be like, oh wow, this guy's actually.
And that's another thing, because I used to run with some of these people, and they're still out there.
Yeah.
And they're like, they only recognize me from the eyes up.
Yeah.
They're like, how do I know you? How do I know you? And then they're like, whoa, Steve. And I'm like, yeah.
But you like, see, look,
And that's
you
what
can
it
do
is, man. And
It
it's, I
can
think a
be
lot of
done.
people, yeah, it's true. It can be
Yeah.
done, I never look at the statistics. I tell people all the time, it's, anyone could do it, man, exactly.
Yeah. It's. Are you willing to take on this task?
Absolutely, yeah.
Are you willing to put in the work, because it ain't fucking easy.
Right.
Like we basically have to change our entire way of thinking and pretty much how we live.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I had to throw away a lot of old ideas and a lot of old personality traits and I even tried to throw away things that I liked and everything that was me,
yeah.
basically. And then I kind of like came back and shook hands with myself, basically, and said, all right, well, there was some good stuff, and I can, and I kind of embraced some old parts of me that weren't so bad.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Exactly. Yeah,
that
like
was
how
my
that was
process.
put. Yeah, just finding yourself, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to trash the whole fucking script, you know what I mean? You
no,
can-
but it's
Right,
time.
right.
It's definitely time to question old ideas.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
old ideas is what got you there.
Mhm.
Right.
So, I don't know. What do I?
Well,
know?
I think it's pretty awesome that, where you're at now and
I love
like
it. It's amazing, Yeah.
yeah.
I always say I'm so blessed and grateful. I really am. Like,
So
I never
blessed,
stop
dude.
being grateful. It's huge,
and,
good stuff.
Yeah.
to see that up front in your face every day is like
Oh yeah.
a
it
constant
helps.
reminder.
Oh
Remember
yes,
when.
Definitely. Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
one bad decision, I'm here again,
Right.
Yeah.
but I can also pull these people out of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
As
that's
long as
right.
I keep making the right decisions.
Yeah, exactly. As long as I'm, taking care of myself, it's huge, and I make sure I balance that with, not trying to get too burnt out. And
And that's the thing. Like, you can't let this work be your recovery.
yes, yeah,
I see a lot of people that get involved in treatment and stuff like that, and they forget all about themselves. And they think, oh, I sat through a meeting today at work. Yeah, but that wasn't your meeting.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
that was you were at that meeting because you had to, and you were getting paid to do that. You know,
Yeah.
so
Right.
you got to remember that. You got to take time for yourself.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah, man, I think that's awesome. You know what I mean, that the work that you're doing and to be able to identify with the people the way that you can. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
good stuff.
that's huge.
Yeah, like I said, I'm so blessed. I love it. You know, it's amazing. You know, and I mean, and, you know, and recently I've come with a, you know, I've dealt with an issue that's been really tough for my life that I'm not really going to get into too much, but you know, like things have really like you know, again, I know how to deal with that now. You know what I mean? Obviously, a few years in recovery. You know, and like, and I even love the fact that I can, you know, even the low moments. You know, obviously I love too, just as much as the highs. You know. You need the dark for the light, you know. And all
Yep.
that, you
So
know?
if there was someone who needed help and was out there and you know just happened to be watching this on their phone, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I'm here at New Way Recovery, where I work through Bay State. It's right next to the Citizens Bank in Quincy, and yeah, so yeah, I'm a recovery coach here. There's also I work also with Haley, who's really great here too. She's another recovery coach. So we're the two recovery coaches that are taking on clients, you know, and you know, it fills up sometimes quick, but then sometimes, you know, people leave too. So it's, you know, it's just like a detox, you know what I mean? You just, you know, you never know kind of with, but yeah, you know, I have, yeah, but you can come find me here at New Way to come in, you know.
That's
And
the
it's-
best.
85?
Yeah, sorry,
85 Quincy Ave.
Quincy Ave, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, and I think it's, you know, and right now it's so amazing because we're supposed to be down to 10 people, but for somehow we were able to keep it at 25. I don't know how. I want to ask you actually that question to Warren, but anyway, like it's you know, because there isn't meetings anywhere. All the halls are closed.
Yeah,
You know, the
yeah.
pandemic, and
Yeah.
you know, so it's like,
And they have a Facebook group, right? And they
Yeah.
must have a website.
and it's been growing. You know, it's like, you know, I mean, in the day they can be anywhere from like, you know, 5 to 15 people, and at night it's usually capacity like, you know, I'd say about 20, 25, sometimes
Yeah.
30. You have to turn people
Nice.
away sometimes, you know.
Yeah, which
So I mean, yeah,
kinda
definitely
sucks.
take advantage of it, you know. And if you're looking for a coach, you know, it's kind of like a sponsor, you know what I mean. But in a way, it's you know, obviously if you need stuff like with help with paperwork too, or whatever, or courts, or you know, whatever it is. But also just to, you know, help someone, you know, guide you and talk to you, like, yeah, you know, and just check in basically, you know. So yeah, you can find me here, and you can find a lot of other great people that work here as staff. You know, I mean, everyone's, I always say, is amazing here, you know. You know, and it's so
Nice.
funny, you know how. It's crazy. I bumped into you, Tom. Like you said, it's
Yeah,
it's
that's
funny how
cool.
life, you know, like you said, life happens, and you know, it's. I don't believe in coincidences, you know.
Nope.
Very
Everything
good.
happens for a reason.
All right.
Well, that's a wrap.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks,
LOLterms.com.
Please subscribe.
Yeah, like, subscribe, share this podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again,
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you.
and we're out of here.
Peace.
Peace.